folks, good morning. We are on day number 3 of the condensed BMW Motorrad Great Getaway. We are just leaving the Santerra, I think it was called, hotel here in Costa Rica. In this part of Costa Rica is a small up-and-coming city. Everything is new constructions. About 50 people live here, all from different parts of the world, and they are expanding this area of Costa Rica and making it almost sort of more western. You have a beautiful seaside cove right here, and then you have mountains and hiking trails and stuff to do right inland. God, look how beautiful that is. So we had a fun time yesterday, logging some decent mileage for sure, and then having that luau style barbecue with the pig on the spit in this barbecue box. That was fire. That was literally the best pork I've ever eaten in my life. I definitely need to figure out a grilling strategy at home to be able to do that one day. That would be awesome. Back to the bike. We are back on our R18 power cruiser. Thankfully, the tour company Elephant Moto, they took the time to fit a different seat. So originally the R18 I was riding, this bike number 16 that you are assigned with on the first day, it had an aftermarket seat from Roland Sands Design. I really like Roland Sands Design and the products that they make, but that seat and my rear end did not jive. So thankfully they had a different accessory seat with them, so they fit that on this bike. This seat I'm riding on now is actually an OE accessory. It's a touring specific seat. And the great thing about these BMW Motorrad vehicles is that they have so many OE seat options. Whether you're a tall rider, a short rider, a rider who's looking for added support, a rider who's looking for added shock feel at the racing track, there are so many different seat options that you can literally go in the catalog and pick something or find something that'll work for you. BMW Motorrad doesn't talk about it enough, but just having that ability to customize this seat profile, that's a big deal. So I anticipate having a much more comfortable day in the saddle of this R18. All right, folks, we are getting out of town. We will check in with you here in a little bit. Look how beautiful this beach is. Now, the cool thing about the country of Costa Rica is just the water temperature here in the Pacific Ocean. The water temperature here is just warm. You can just jump in without any wetsuit and you're just comfortable. You can't do that in the Golden State, I'll tell you that much. Very beautiful place, very lavish and nice accommodations. This would be a place I would want to stay at much longer. Folks, here we are in the Central American isthmus of Costa Rica. This is Playa Flamingo on the northwest coastline of the isthmus of Costa Rica. Look how pretty it is, folks. I just want to take off my Revit motorcycle gear and hop in the ocean and swim with the dolphins, but I forgot my towel, so maybe we'll skip it and do it next time. Seeing and smelling and living the sights and sounds of Costa Rica is what BMW Motorrad's The Great Getaway is all about. And look, they have a support vehicle with you everywhere you go. You see that white Toyota 4Runner? That's our chase vehicle with unlimited drinks, unlimited snacks, unlimited everything to make sure that you are hydrated when you are out on the road logging the miles. All right, folks, I am hearing something very pleasurable to my ears right now. And look what we have here. Yes, a waterfall. This is going to be fantastic. I am so hot and sweaty right now. We talked about the humidity here in Costa Rica is quite high. So even though the ambient air temperature isn't unusually high, you know, in the low 80s, with it being so humid, it feels hot. So we're gonna cool off in that waterfall. What do you think, boys and girls? Do you think it'll be awesome and refreshing? Let's find out. All right, folks, here we are at the beautiful waterfall with our sippy cup in our hand. Let's go in the water. Oh my God, this feels so good. I can't believe, look at the fishes. There's fishes in this water. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And I'm telling you, we were hot just a minute ago, but we are cooling off pronto style. Now, if this isn't paradise, I don't know what is. And look at this spread that we have at the Great Getaway. Now, this is what I call a lunch stop. Coconut water, Sammy's, some yummy, delectable cake, no doubt. Some wonderful fresh fruit. If you ever had the fruit in Costa Rica, you'll know that this is game-changing. Even if you grow your own fruit at home, this stuff is still even game-changing for some reason. And these dang plantain chips, I can eat all of these chips. I love these chips. What a spread. Thank you for this nice spread. Yes, I would be lying if I didn't say that I don't want to leave this epic waterfall. It is absolutely gorgeous here. And that dip that we took was just so refreshing. But alas, we have more miles to cover. So we're gonna hop back on our R18 Cruiser and pound some pavement. We just got done having lunch on day number 3 of the BMW Motorrad, the Great Getaway. We had a nice picnic, as you saw, at the waterfall. Oh my gosh, I wish I was inside that pool of water right now because it is hot. We've done an awful lot of riding on improvised roads, including this one we are on right now, which isn't terrible. I mean, you're on a motorcycle. Motorcycles can go anywhere, even street bikes. But gosh darn it, this 3 inches of suspension travel on this vehicle, it really lets you know that there are bumps in the road. I almost feel like a different BMW Motorrad vehicle would be more well suited to an adventure like this. Basically, any of the bikes. I would like to be on a F850 GS or a F900 XR. F900 XR would be bomb. But BMW is proudly toting its R18 Cruiser as the bike to be on for this application, and while I don't necessarily agree with them, it's better than not riding a motorcycle in Costa Rica. How about that? Now we're talking, boys and girls. Finally some corners. I love the hilly topography of this country. Yes, finally. We've been doing so much straight line riding. It feels good to bend into some turns. We are going up in elevation, so the weather is starting to cool down. very rapidly. I am feeling this. Look how beautiful the countryside is. Because we're not in the rainy season yet, the terrain is a little bit dry, which is surprising because this country gets quite a bit of rain. Even during the dry season, you have random showers that throw down some moisture. But now that we're entering the mountainous area, you can see that everything is a little bit greener, the temperatures are a little cooler, so the water demand by the vegetation is probably lower, and it's just beautiful. I certainly can get used to riding or even living up here in the mountains. This is nice. The ambient air temperature is much lower. Everything is more lush and green. Look at these beautiful vistas. This is what I am talking about. Woo! Folks, here we are on day number 3 of the Motorrad tour, and we are taking a coffee stop because who doesn't like to be caffeinated when they're riding their motorcycle? Look at that cake, that looks delicious. I definitely will want to eat that in a minute. Look at all the cool stuff they have to buy. I bought some of these type of wooden espresso shot cups because I love making espresso at home, so I thought those would be handy. Look at all the law enforcement agencies who have visited this. There is the Bavarian police, or it's either that one or that one. We have New York City Police Department. We have North Dakota Sheriff. How cool is that? All of these folks have been here to have some coffee and check out the scenery. And let's go outside. Look how beautiful it is outside. Oh my gosh, this view is just insane. I can't even believe what I'm looking at here. All right, folks, we just left that delectable coffee spot. I love Costa Rican blends of coffee. They have this flavor to it that I can't really describe in English, but I can via my taste buds. And I'm really happy to try different types of coffee from all over the world. I actually bought a couple small bags of whole bean coffee. It was expensive, $44 for 2 small bags. Or I'm sorry, $42 for 2 small bags, US dollars, which seems expensive. But I always like to have an assortment of coffee at my house for myself and for my guests, for my esteemed guests that come over. So we are going to be barreling down this curvy stretch of road for a while, and I'm so happy right now. That rough, beat up, dusty roadways was not the right element for this R18. This, of course, it's a cruiser. It's not gonna have the ground clearance of a traditional street bike, but it's still enough to have some fun on. I'm having fun right now. And just the power pulses of this Boxer twin. It's just such a fun engine. It has a great growl to it, real nice character, and the sound. I love the sound. Yes, sounds nice to me. Now, when you're traveling here for the Great Getaway, it can be hard to pack. Number one, you don't need to bring a lot of anything. The weather here is real mild. All you really need besides a pair of shorts, tank top, and sandals is just your motorcycle riding gear. What motorcycle riding gear to bring? That was a real tough one for me to decide, because you have to have gear that's going to breathe and move some air. But at the same time, when you get up to the mountains, it could be a little bit cool, and it rains all the time. So that's why I went with this new Revit Adv Jacket. This jacket, although it's designed for adventure touring, it actually works really good for this varied weather conditions type of riding. Number one, it's really light, it has good vents, and it is waterproof. So we haven't really had that much rain, but if it was to rain, I hate being wet. So this jacket would help ensure that I am not wet. It also has a ton of pockets, waterproof pockets, mind you, and it looks cool. I'm also wearing the Revit Piston SK jeans. This jean is awesome. It's got good soft protection in the knees. They're a real thick denim, so if you were to take a spill, they'd hold up real well, and they're light colored, so when the sun's blaring on you, you don't get super hot, and they look cool, and they fit nice and slim. I love slim fitting jeans, so I'm really happy I'm wearing those. I also have a pair of Revit Kinetic Gloves. These gloves are nice because they have leather palms. I like a leather palm. It just holds up really nice against the hand grips of the motorcycle. It also gives you abrasion protection if you were to take a spill. Yet on the top, it is almost like a fabric, not full mesh, but a mesh-like material, so it actually has a little bit of breathing to it. Not a lot. It's not a full mesh glove by any means, but it does breathe a wee bit, and it still has knuckle protection. I also always love wearing Revit gloves because they fit me perfect. Size medium fits my hand literally like a glove, and these gloves they fit me so well. I love riding in Revit gloves. I also brought a quick change pair of rainproof pants and a rainproof jacket, just in case it really starts downpouring. In lieu of this waterproof ADV jacket, it wouldn't be a bad idea to wear a high airflow mesh type summer jacket, and then if you get cool, you can just wear that raincoat, because even if it's not raining, it's gonna block the wind and allow your body heat not to escape as much. So maybe going forward, I'd probably should have brought a full summer mesh riding jacket, just because it's so warm here. But this Revit ADV coat is working pretty good too. Oh, and boots. I love riding in TCX riding shoes. I have the TCX Rush Air boots on right now. Maybe it's Rush 2 Air boots. I can't remember if they're Rush 1 or Rush 2. These boots are nice because when you're riding this R18 Cruiser, because of the configuration of the engine, the cylinders do throw some heat off onto your feet, and a vented riding shoe just helps keep your feet from getting too hot. If you were wearing a pair of waterproof boots right now, oh my god, your feet would be so hot and sweaty, it'd be gross. So you definitely want a vented boot. And then if it rains, it doesn't really matter so much because the cylinders are literally covering your feet, so in theory your feet aren't going to get super drenched, and the heat from the engine is going to help keep your feet warm. It's almost like OE feet heaters to a certain extent. So for sure I'd recommend rocking a vented full-length riding shoe or riding boot like the TCX Rush 2 Air. We are logging miles on this fun but narrow, twisty road, and this road really does a good job of highlighting the handling dynamic of this R18 Cruiser. It really is amazing how agile and how nimble this 900-pound Cruiser is. For sure, the Boxer twin configuration has its advantages, especially in how the crankshaft spins in a line with the vehicle. So there's nothing to fight when you're turning it from left to right. It just turns left and right because the crankshaft's spinning in that same direction, that same centerline direction. And I really like just how easy this bike handles. For sure, the limited rear suspension that we were griping about earlier on the bumpy road. This road is relatively smooth. It's not the smoothest road I've ever ridden, but it's also not extremely bumpy. And the suspension on this vehicle works really well here. You'll occasionally hit a G out, which is a little bit annoying. When you hit that G out, you definitely feel it. You feel that bam through the seat and through the spine. You really want to stand up on top of the floorboards with, look at that building, that's awesome. It's like a German building. On top of, oh look at this, like German area. Wow, it's sick. German area on German bike, crazy. You really want to stand up like this on the floorboards when you go over a G out or any kind of obstacle that's really going to tax the limited travel of the rear shock. I am operating Cardo Systems' new FreeCom 4 Bluetooth communication device. So this Bluetooth communication device not only allows you to communicate with other folks within the vicinity using this Bluetooth communicator, you can also pair it with your smartphone. I have it paired to my iOS enabled smartphone so I can listen to music and receive turn by turn navigation. While we're talking about it, BMW also offers its Ride Connected app, which is a smartphone app for Android and iOS users, and it allows you to enable turn-by-turn directions. Since we don't have a traditional instrument panel, you can't have turn-by-turn directions here, but it will funnel them through your Bluetooth device. But realistically, it's the same as running Apple Maps or Google Maps. Still, if you have a different type of BMW Motorrad vehicle, that Ride Connected app is just awesome. I love it. Look, we did it. Day number 3 of the Great Getaway by BMW Motorrad. And look, we are in a rainforest hotel. This place is awesome. What a change of scenery from the sandy beaches and the more arid climate near the coastline. Now we are in my neck of the woods. I like this jungle type environment. Well, today was pretty good. We covered a lot of ground today. I think we covered right around another 150 kilometers on day number 3. Our ride this morning started out a little herky-jerky and a little bumpy, but it finished really nicely on these curvy roads here in the rainforest jungle. Well, folks, that wraps up day number 3. I have to get out of my riding gear and take a shower because I am a smelly boy. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for riding with us today.